Once, in a quiet village surrounded by mountains, lived a young man named Marco. He was just 24, but his heart was heavy. Every day his mind was a battlefield. Thoughts of the past haunted him, regrets, missed chances, old pain, and fears of the future whispered in his ears, "What if you fail? What if things never change?" His thoughts never stopped. They drained his energy, stole his sleep, and silenced his smile. He longed for peace, but didn't know where to find it. One day, Marco heard about a wise man who lived far away in the hills, a man who had once healed many minds in the busy cities, but now lived a life of quiet, away from the noise, helping only those who truly sought wisdom. And so, with a restless heart but a spark of hope, Marco left everything behind and began the long journey. Days passed. He crossed rivers, climbed rocky paths, slept under the stars, and finally, he reached the village. There, in front of a small green-covered house, an old man sat silently on the porch, eyes closed, calm, like he had made peace with the world and himself. Marco stepped closer and said, "Grandfather, my mind is always loud. I cannot stop thinking. Please teach me how to find peace." The old man opened his eyes, smiled gently, and simply said, "Come with me." He walked Marco into a small yard. Then he filled a glass with water, completely full to the edge. He handed it to Marco and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and come back, but don't spill even a single drop." Marco was surprised, but he nodded. With both hands, he held the glass. Slowly, carefully. Step by step, he walked. The road was full of distractions. People shouting, children playing, dogs barking. But Marco didn't look at any of them. His mind was fully focused on the glass. Every step was filled with awareness. Every breath was calm. And when he returned, he said proudly, "I did it. I didn't spill a single drop." The old man looked at him and asked, "But tell me, did you hear the dogs barking? Did you see the children playing?" Marco thought for a moment. "No," he said, "I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focused on the glass." The old man smiled again and said, "That, my child, is peace." In those few minutes, your mind was not in the past. It was not afraid of the future. It was completely in the present. That's why it was silent. That's why it was calm. Marco stood there quiet. The truth hit him harder than any words ever could. Peace wasn't in some faraway place. It wasn't locked in the past or waiting in the future. It was here, now, inside, and for the first time in years, Marco felt light. He felt still. He smiled, not because life had changed, but because he had. He bowed his head and said, "Now I understand. If I want to calm my mind, I must live in this moment." The sun began to set. Birds flew across the sky, and Marco walked back home. But he was no longer the same man. He was still 24, still walking the same road. But now, his mind was at peace because he had learned the greatest truth. When you master the present moment, you master your mind. And when you master your mind, you master your life. Music fades slowly. If this story touched your heart, like it. Share it with someone you care about. And subscribe to Inspire Sphere for more stories that remind you of your power to live fully and peacefully. Until next time, breathe deeply, live mindfully, and never forget, peace is already within you.